I'm live! Hello, adoring fans. I literally think nobody's watching right now, but that's cool. People are going to watch this in the rerun. That's fine. We'll give it a second. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, Instagram just notified me that I've gone live. That's exciting. So, hello. We have 3 people watching. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, happy birthday to me. It's not actually my birthday. All right, everyone. So, welcome to the first ever Great Movie Marathon live stream. This is a really exciting project that I have undertaken for the next, as of now, 11 weeks. And we're just like watching our way through all the movies that made up the Great Movie Ride. And for certain weeks, we're just going to come together for a live stream to have like a book club style chat, but a movie club style chat to talk with some of the other channels that participated in the movie of the week and see what everyone thought. So today we're being joined by some of my favorite Disney YouTubers I'm going to bring into the stream, starting with Loren from Castle Clones. Hello.
How's it going?
Delightful. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me in this collaboration. I'm so excited.
My pleasure. I'm so excited to have you. I'm so excited that we're going to have you as like a regular pretty much for the project, which is awesome. So, Loren, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about your channel for anyone viewing who's not familiar?
Yeah, well, I have a channel called Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss pretty much everything in the Disney universe, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We do a lot of news. I run the channel with my cousin, Rich.
Nice.
And that's why I tend to sign my name to everything, because I want people to know that I'm the one that's writing rather than my cousin Rich. But anyway, I do, for my personal program, I do a lot of hauls, a lot of unboxings, a lot of this and that. So anyway, that's pretty much my life right now. I'm on disability because I'm in dialysis, and so the channel really gives me purpose.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I'm so I love your content. I'm so happy to have you here, and I love seeing all that amazing haul material behind you. Always a pleasure. You know, I love my Funkos. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of, okay, I was going to say, and speaking of Funko lovers, we're going to bring in our second channel for today. Fan favorites, the Hyde Stu Disney. It's Michael and Amanda. Hello, friends.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh.
We talked the whole night through. Good morning.
They prepared a musical number.
That was impressive.
I don't sing.
Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you. When we left the movie, I could keep going. Hold on, we got some friends here. We're going to start with Martha. Hello, Martha.
Good morning, Martha.
Hi, Martha.
And so, friends.
And Santa Claire, how are you?
Hello. Thanks for joining us, folks. All right, and for anyone who's not familiar with Hyde Stu Disney, Mike and Amanda, tell us a little bit about you and your channel.
Well, we're the Hyde Stu Disney, or THDD here, because and we are now Florida locals. We just moved here in November from New Hampshire, and so we go to theme parks. That's pretty much all we do when I'm not working, is go to the theme parks. And we got a cute little 4-year-old that I'm assuming at some point will make his grand entrance about halfway through the stream, as he normally does.
Nice.
Yeah, Mike puts out really random videos now, and I'm all for it.
I have to say, I'm a huge fan of the new Mike-driven content. It's amazing. Oh, hello, Seth.
You like the abstract?
I do like the abstract.
Oh, Seth.
Brilliant.
So that
hello.
That concept came to me this morning while I was laying in bed. I was like, "Ooh, I have to do that." And that's what I do. So I spent about an hour and a half doing some research, trying to put everything together, and I had like 20 tabs above going, looking at different things, reading through it, trying to find some information. There's a lot of information out there, but it's just picking what you want, and then spend about recording it, and then probably another 3 hours cutting it.
And it was worth every second, I must say. I learned so much about how not to get a cold.
I know.
Yep. Especially as a singer, or like a former singer, because there's no place to sing now, but still. Like,
you can sing in the rain, though.
That's true, I can.
No, you might.
All right, so before we move on to the movie, I think first, since it is the Great Movie Ride Marathon, let's just take a second to talk about the ride. Did anyone get to ride the ride while it was there?
Yes.
Yes.
I did.
Amazing. So this is something that I think I want to make a regular part of the streams. Anytime we have a new channel that's joining us for the first time on the lives, I think just if everyone could give a little bit of their memories about the ride. And I'm going to go first because it's like my favorite ride ever, which is why I wanted to do this. Like, I have so many memories of being terrified of it as a youngster and not wanting to go on it because of how scary it was. And then I got to re-ride it just a couple months before it closed because there was a span of 15 years when I didn't go to Disney. My last trip as a kid was when I was 12. Then I went back when I was 29, right before hitting my 30th birthday, and I re-rode the Great Movie Ride. And it was just the best nostalgic feeling ever. While at the same time, I was thinking, I'm surprised this ride is still here. It feels really out of date. These robots have no fluidity and whatever, but some of the animatronics were cool, but the sets I thought were incredible. The scope of the buildings and the detail and everything was so cool. And Robert Osborne's voiceover was just a very awkward addition, but I kind of enjoyed it ironically, so that was fun. Yeah. How about you, Loren? What are your thoughts, memories of the movie ride?
So my first memory, truth be told, was that I'm air conditioning.
Yes, 22 glorious minutes in the air conditioning.
Air conditioning. But as I came to appreciate the movies, I really, really loved that attraction. And I was really sad when they decided to replace it. I mean, truth be told, I do like Mickey's Runaway Railway, but I'm really sad that the Great Movie Ride is gone because it was something that was so different from everything else, and I think people didn't appreciate it as much.
Definitely, and it was also just the end of an era because once that ride closed, there was nothing left from the original park. So the park is the ship of Theseus.
Yeah.
It is White Vision. That is what
I know. I was just about to say.
WandaVision reference. For anyone who's not caught up, you need to catch up.
Right.
Because the series is worth it, but also to get that reference. So there we go. Yeah, and I rode Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway as well. I was also there just as it opened. I tend to cut things very close when it comes to the rides that are in that building. But yeah, it was one of my first videos was about my thoughts on Mickey and Minnie's replacing Great Movie Ride, and my basic end of the day feelings are that my heart misses it, but my head understands and respects why the decision had to be made, just to move forward and everything. But still, I miss the Gene Kelly animatronic just dancing awkwardly for me. Good times. Hyde, how about you?
So truth be told, we only rode it once. So our first time in Hollywood Studios was in 2014 on our honeymoon. And then we went 2 years later on what I call really our first trip where we knew what we were doing. And that was the only time we went on Great Movie Ride. And I like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway better, but that's also because I went on it for the first time as an adult and it closed 6 months later. So I didn't have the time to, think about it for 15 years and then go back to it and that kind of stuff. But my favorite memory, and it'll come up on my Facebook memories soon, is on that trip when we went on it. I was, taking pictures as you do because, Great Movie Ride, hello. And I have a picture of a munchkin in The Wizard of Oz, and it automatically tagged my grandfather.
It's adorable.
That was hilarious because my grandfather did not know how to use Facebook at all. And so he literally, I got a phone call, I think, at one point, and he was like, I got an email that you tagged me in something on Facebook, and I don't know what, I'm like, don't worry about it. It's fine. So that's still, he passed away a couple of years ago, and that's still one of my, cherished memories.
Which munchkin was it?
I think it was the older munchkin.
I'll pull it up.
The bald head one.
Is it the mayor? The one in, the green suit? Or the coroner?
It was weird because it was in a window. So, it was up high in the window, so it didn't really make any sense. I actually
Window munchkin.
I don't
that
remember
is fantastic.
because we only rode it once, and I remember certain parts of it, but it's like I'm thinking to myself, I have memories, but I'm like, are they actually memories, or am I just making it up in my head because I've seen the ride videos? You know,
It's the same thing.
It was this Munchkin.
Oh yeah, I know who that is. I haven't seen that guy.
My grandfather did not look like that.
there's nothing like that.
That's adorable and
I don't know.
hilarious.
Actually,
I
if you
love
look
it.
at it, actually, it's not that bad. I can see it.
No.
Like it's probably one of those situations where you can understand why a computer would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, algorithmically, you can see it, how it puts together certain features and distances and widths and stuff like that, eyes and nose and stuff.
But just to bring it all back, the first picture that I have from the Great Movie Ride, there he is in all of his glory.
Oh, nice.
That's perfect.
That's a nice picture.
Is that the one where the person who's hosting the ride gets captured or something?
Yes, that is.
See, I was like, is
Yes.
that a memory? Is that a real memory, or am I just making it up in my head?
Oh, we're getting to like that. That's for like 3 weeks from now when we hit the Western scene, because that's the only thing. Well, maybe I'll like those movies better when I rewatch them. But I watched my way through the Great Movie Ride movies once a couple years ago after I got a tooth extracted, and that was just like my thing to keep me occupied while I was on the couch. And I distinctly remember being like an hour and a half into The Searchers and thinking there's still another hour and a half to go of this movie, and I'm only watching it because of one John Wayne animatronic, and I'm really not impressed right now. So, like, the best thing about the hijacking is that it distracts from those movies being boring. Anyway, my mom sent me this picture. It's little Matthew in front of the Great Movie Ride.
Oh,
Look how cute!
Please post that on the internet so we can see it a lot bigger. Please,
Okay.
Martha, I know you know how to use Instagram. Tag me in it. I want to see it.
yeah.
Well, the cat knows how to use Instagram.
Yeah, the cat doesn't.
Yeah,
like
use the mouse.
All right.
Now.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I think it's so interesting. Not so interesting, but just imagining what it would have been like riding it for the first time as an adult without the nostalgic factor. I don't think I would have been super impressed, mostly because of the Robert Osborne change. Because once they had the Turner Classic Movies sponsorship, and they basically took away all of the interactivity with the host or with the tour guide, and just gave all the lines to that voice, to Robert Osborne, awkwardly coming at you from the speakers in the ride vehicle. Like, it was so much better. The energy was so much better when it was just your tour guide telling you everything. Like, that was my dream job when I wanted to work at Disney World. So there you go. But anyway, let's talk about Singing in the Rain. Hooray!
Yay.
Was this anyone's first time watching it? I know it was for at least one of us. Mike, yes. Loren and Amanda, had you seen it before?
Yeah.
I love it.
Amazing. So let's start with Mike. Let's hear your first thoughts as someone who had never seen the movie before. What did you think?
I really liked it, actually. I thought the humor was really good, and it's humor that I like. It's that 50s and 60s, like 40s, 50s, 60s slapstick style humor on some of the parts where it's just like, it's witty and it's funny and it makes sense. Like,
Mackenzie's in the house.
I don't know. I thought it was a good movie, and I liked what's her name? Lori? Who's the weird voice person?
Oh, Lena?
Lena?
Yeah.
I thought she was hilarious. I thought it was like one of the funniest things because I told her, man, I was like, she's gonna have a really weird voice, right? And then she did. I was like, yeah, thanks.
How did you call that? How did you know?
I don't know. Like, probably from Family Guy, because they do it when Peter is a silent movie actor, and then he becomes voice. He's like, no, and he can't speak. That's kind of what I was going with. Like, thank you, Family Guy, for putting in cultural references so it helps me understand movies farther that I haven't seen before. Thank you, Seth MacFarlane.
Yes, thank you, Seth. And I think that's just so funny because that's just an ongoing stereotype and rumor about that era, which I touch on in my video. But I think Singing in the Rain was kind of like the thing that solidified that into the public consciousness as like a misunderstood fact about the time period, that all the silent film stars actually had really hilarious voices, and it does it so well. Anyway, hold on. I also love Mike and Amanda's outfits. Quick commercial. Where could one find an outfit like that?
Well, you can find that at bebeautifulhumans.com. And if that's wrong, it'll be in the live chat, and the correct thing will be there. And just so that you can see a sampling of other things you can buy. Be a beautiful human.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Human.
Nice.
Very nice.
I really enjoyed watching Mike watch Singing in the Rain because like I grew up on watching musicals. Singing in the Rain wasn't one that I watched all the time. Like I had some that I watched on a very frequent basis. But it was one that I was obviously familiar with. But it's been a long time since I've seen it. And so I was like, oh, I wonder how he's going to react to this. And like, I knew going in to make them laugh that he was going to love it. But I didn't want to be like, oh, you're going to love this song, because then it's that whole like, oh, well, if you think I'm going to like it, then it's not going to be as funny or whatever. So like he audibly laughed
several times.
And so I was like, good job. You did what you were supposed to.
He made him laugh.
He made him laugh.
That was my favorite character too.
Oh yeah. Cosmo's amazing.
Yeah, he's a great character.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm the type of guy who can watch a movie 100 times and not remember anybody's name. So if I'm like that guy, if you just put in a name and I'll probably guess and be like, yeah, I'll go along with it. I'll agree.
But yeah, it was great to rewatch it again, and it was just nice. I love it.
Much better than trying to watch last week's movie.
Did you make your way through? Like, did you finish
about 30 minutes in? We're like, are we done yet? This feels like it's been an hour and a half.
I told you, skip to the last part where it's just the musical numbers.
But like, I don't want to derail off of Singing in the Rain, but like we literally watched 25-30 minutes and I still wasn't sure what the plot of the movie was because it jumped so many times. So that's my tea.
So yeah, I did not love Footlight Parade, and I paid more attention to it this time around. Again, not to get too far off of Singing in the Rain, but I appreciate Singing in the Rain so much more after forcing myself to watch Footlight Parade. Like, aside from it being kind of very boring, it's also real. Like, it hasn't aged well in one of those very not socially acceptable kind of ways. Like, it's very casually misogynistic. Like, there was one part when Ruby Keeler's character, who's the secretary, she like has her glasses on and she's doing her job as a secretary. Then one of the men is like, "Look at you. There's nothing feminine about you. You basically look like a man with your hair pulled back and your glasses." And then that just prompts her to be like, "No, I need to be a dancer again." And she takes off her glasses and then she's stunning. And I'm like, this is no. So Singing in the Rain, so much better.
It has aged so much better.
It absolutely has. Now, Loren, tell us about your background with Singing in the Rain. Do you remember the first time you saw it, or what's your history with the movie?
I don't know if I remember the first time that I saw it, but I have been watching this film for as long as I can remember. And I just find it to be one of the best movie musicals. And I watched it on replay when Debbie Reynolds died, and I was in the corner in the fetal position, just rocking myself while watching the movie. But I really do think that the musical numbers in this, and just the Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds and Donald O'Connor and Gene Hagen, were all just such a great combination of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely. It's just like, it's pretty much a perfectly made movie, except for I have one thing that like could be lifted out very easily to make the movie better, but we'll get there. Amanda, what was your first experience with the movie? Because we've heard about Mike's first experience. Do you remember when you saw it for the first time?
Oh gosh, I have no idea. I probably rented it from the library, like I did with most of my movie musicals. I went right to that section because I had all the Disney movies, so I needed something else, and so I'd go to the musical section, and I probably
I found the musical I want, Mommy.
I mean, honestly, that was probably it. And if it wasn't Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, it was probably Singing in the Rain. Yeah, that was probably it. Was just watching it on VHS and then returning it back to the library and going back and forth and getting more. But I just remember loving it. And like, my mom is super musical and my grandma was super musical. And so it was just kind of another thing to be able to talk with them about and be like, oh, hey, I watched this movie, Singing in the Rain. Have you heard of it? And my grandmother being like, heard of it, honey.
I wrote it.
Listen, me and Debbie go way back. I'm sure that she probably had met Debbie at some point in some way. She probably didn't, but
we had popped down at the soda shop.
Exactly. She would have. she would have had 1,000 stories to tell about it.
We
So
split a sarsaparilla one time.
yeah,
Sorry.
that's good. Cool. Sarsaparilla.
Oh, that would be so cool if that was.
Yeah, so yeah, I was probably just a young little child, just watching Singing in the Rain and just enjoying my life. And every time I'd see an umbrella and or a lamppost, just want to twirl around it.
Mhm.
As one should.
Yeah. No, you don't want to see this going around. No.
The pure joy. That's all we want. Yeah. Like,
no, pure Jello is pretty much what's going to happen.
Jello is joyful. I like green Jello. Anyway, yeah, I think the first time I saw it, I distinctly remember I was older. I was, I think, 14 or 15 because a community theater company was doing Singing in the Rain, and I was thinking of auditioning. Then I watched the movie and realized that I was like, there was no part for me because I was way too young and not nearly a good enough dancer to be any of them. But that was my catalyst behind watching it, and just I had no clue what it was about. I just knew they were singing in rain, and then, like I mentioned in the video, the movie has nothing to do with singing in rain, but it's just like so much better than I ever would have thought. So good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I guess with that said, what's everyone's favorite musical number aside from Singing in the Rain? Because that one doesn't really count. I guess it does, but like that's the easy answer. Aside from Singing in the Rain, what's everyone's favorite song / sequence?
Mine is Good Morning. I love that. I love the whole dance number, and when they go over the couch with, they tip over the couch and stuff like that. It's just such a happy number. It's a great turning point for the film, and so that's my favorite musical number.
Oh, it's so good. Agreed. And just so sad that Debbie Reynolds' feet were basically destroyed. I think it was 17 hours straight.
It was
Yeah.
Kelly made her tap dance.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But just the synchronicity between the three of them in that number is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you try to do two people, and that's like brilliant enough. But bringing in three people to be perfectly synchronized is amazing.
Especially since she was a non-dancer, which just makes it that much more incredible. Like I think she learned to tap dance specifically for this movie, and I'm sure that like Gene and Donald were pulling back a little bit to like make it easier for her, but still, it was like amazing.
I read a thing today in my research that her tapping was not bad, but Gene didn't like it, so he actually went. All the noise of her tapping is actually him re-tapping over her taps.
He was a perfectionist.
Like I guess he was a machine, like a monster. Like he made her do it over and over and over again.
Yeah, it sounds like he wasn't the nicest.
No.
Yeah.
And I think Donald O'Connor even said that Gene was scary or not great to him either. But
wow.
I know. And I read that since Gene was so acutely aware that Debbie would cry very easily if he yelled at her, which, I mean, I don't blame her. I would probably cry too. He would take all his Debbie anger out on Donald. So anytime he was really angry at Debbie, he would just scream at Donald on set.
No.
For me, looking at him, he's a little guy. Like him yelling made me laugh because he's a little guy. Like I read another thing where he was so like he did not want to be seen as being short, that with the scenes when they're all three of them together, they were always crouched so they all looked the same height.
Oh yeah, he choreographed the big dance sequence with Sid. How do you say her last name? Charisse. Yeah, he choreographed that so that they were always at some kind of angle when they were dancing next to each other because she was so much taller than him in her heels. So, but he made an amazing movie, despite him not being a great person from the sounds of it.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes. Anyway, how about you, friends? What were your favorite numbers?
I mean, make them laugh, made me laugh, so it's gonna get me. I think my favorite scene overall, though, I don't know if we're gonna get there. My favorite scene overall is in the end. Again, where what's her name comes out and wants to sing. And like, this is great.
Lena Lamont.
Yeah, Lena.
And like they send they send what's her name out to sing behind her. I was hoping they just wouldn't do it all together because, like, think about it this way: I've never seen the movie, so I was hoping that they would just like let her go out there and start playing music, and then have her think that she was gonna sing, and then she just starts singing. Sounds awful, but they didn't. They let her play, but then that whole scene just made me laugh because it was like one of those things where we're just like letting her fail on her own. They're like, yeah, we're winning. Like, we don't have to do anything now. This is all over. Like, good luck.
Oh, it's so like the whole movie sets that last scene up so perfectly, and it's so satisfying the way everything unfolds, because just circumstantially the way that she has the hold on the studio, that's the only way that they can really kind of have her embarrass herself and ruin herself without her blaming it on publicity and being able to sue, as she said. And I kind of wish that we saw more of a conclusion for Lena's character, because the whole movie just ends so abruptly. It's just like, look, it's Kathy. That's the voice you fell in love with. Then he kisses her. Then they're in front of a billboard, and it's over. Done.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh crap, we gotta end this movie now.
It felt like there was more that they just cut. So,
well, I wanted to see Lena eating cake like underneath the like piano, just crying and like the makeup running down her face, like I don't like me. With her really annoying voice, like it'd just be hilarious.
Oh, I still feel bad for Lena though.
Me too.
Like they had to make her as awful as they did so that it wouldn't be as tragic as it could have been. Because the only reason it's not sad is because of how awful she is to everybody the whole movie. Yeah. And like her getting Kathy fired at the beginning, I think is so essential, because if she didn't do something that selfish, then you're just watching this poor woman's career unravel underneath her. Still so sad.
But if you really think about it, it was her own fault for being as selfish as she was.
Oh yeah,
it was a self-inflicted wound. I mean,
yeah. Well, mostly. She wouldn't have survived, really. Like, she wasn't a good enough actor to just act talking in the movies. And like, I think Don, part of the reason he was able to survive was because he was talented, but like you said, about her kind of digging her own grave, Dawn was adaptable more than she was. Like, I think what I like is that you see that Dawn is making just as many stupid mistakes as she is when they're shooting their first like talking scene, where he's just saying I love you, whatever, and he's like not conscious of what he's doing that's making sound, but he's smart enough to identify that and then fix it. Whereas Lena's just like so set in the ways of the old days.
Well, I mean, Don had a background in singing and dance, so I mean, he has something to fall back on at least. Whereas Lena has nothing. Like, she was only been a silent film actor, so that's the only avenue she can go down because that's all she knows.
That is all she knows. So sad. Poor Lena. Amanda, what's your favorite song?
I mean, Good Morning is just classic. It's just so catchy. Like, Singing in the Rain, obviously, great, solid. Good Morning, solid. But like, to go a little more obscure, I just love the whole like Moses supposes scene. Like,
that's a good one.
Scene is just flawless. As somebody who, like, you know, every week in choir, it was, you know, doing some sort of tongue twist or something. So that was just so much fun to watch. And then like the whole, you know, dance number and just it being crazy. And then, you know, the dictation coach is kind of like sitting there like, what?
What was about that?
I have no idea.
I don't remember. But we talked about like how we referenced it, like what if this was like what it was like at Disney Studios when they were writing music.
Oh yeah, I was talking about. I wonder if that's how like the Sherman Brothers, you know, acted around like not Walt but like other executives, because Walt would have been, you know, like probably cooler about it, but like other executives just being like, "What are you doing?"
I'd like to see that movie.
Yes.
Oh, so would I. I feel like we got a little bit of that in Saving Mr. Banks.
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can try to rewatch that just for my own pure enjoyment, since I'm watching Pobbins now for next week.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Me too.
Oh, so good. Like, there were just so many good musicals then. Actually, there were a lot that probably weren't great, but the ones that were good turned out so good.
Excellent. Yeah.
And like, I can't really pick a favorite because they're all favorites, but one that I just enjoy watching for the pure energy is I really like All I Do Is Dream of You. They like popping out of the cake song, because just the arrangement of the song is so good. Just the fact, like the way that they Charlestonize it, and like the dance sequence is so good. And then like the drama snob in me just loves how the scene is structured. That she's like, I just love the way that Kathy is performing, but there's just a lot of subtext. Like she has to smile even though she's really pissed off at Dawn.
My
the
Right.
entire
favorite
time.
scene where she's showing off that she can dance in that when she pops
Yes.
out of the cake.
Oh, I don't. I just I got
He's
lost.
so bad at movies.
I got
Don't-
so lost there for a second. I was like, where are we going with this?
Do you want me to recreate it for you?
Yes, please. Hold
I
on.
want to see whenever the camera just your feet moving, like from like the knees down, and just like
Yeah, it's the Charleston, and then like they have the flowers, and then they throw them.
They're just like
Da, 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 da. It's the cat's meow. That's the best part. Do. And where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so back to musicals. I like something I really realized this time around is that kind of uncharacteristically for musicals from this time period, they're really smart with how they justify the singing, because that's the thing that I'm always like acutely aware of when I'm watching movie musicals, because as much as I love them, like they're my favorite film genre, and so I'm really picky. And if the movies don't know why the characters are singing, like if they don't set up an environment where it makes sense, then I get really angry.
Have you
Because
done a video about that, Matt? I feel like you have.
I don't know if I have. I've probably mentioned it. I don't think I've outright done a video on this topic, but yeah, Singing in the Rain is just so clever because kind of in Coco, I touched on it in my Coco video, but the first couple musical numbers in Singing in the Rain are all like they're diegetic, so they're all like actually singing in whatever the scenario is, and then Make 'Em Laugh, that's kind of no, but he starts like he's just actually singing for fun. And then by the time you get to songs like Good Morning and Singing in the Rain, you've already bought into this reality where the characters can sing to express their emotions, but like they've earned that because of how they've set it up, which is so brilliant. And yeah, like All I Do Is Dream of You is just the perfect way to like usher us into that. And I also love how the movie sets up Dawn and Kathy's relationship, because there's just a lot of like cute little banter at the beginning, which is really fun, but it feels like a relationship that's earned more than I think we see in that era a lot. Like it's not really love at first sight. They both sort of call each other out for their flaws, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And then when they have that romantic ladder scene that Loren ever so beautifully illustrated, by the time you get there, it feels like by now I know who these people are, and so I like watching them fall in love. It's sweet.
Yeah, very much so.
So sweet. So then what was everyone's no, I want to do this. Favorite non-musical moment?
Non-musical moment.
pie in the face.
Yes.
I can't.
Yeah, I know. That's mine.
Oh.
I can't stand him.
And I can't stand them.
Stand 'em. I can't stand them.
I know I said
Oh,
this to you, Matt, in a text today, but it reminded me so much of, like, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, like, Lena reminded me so much of the character in Oklahoma who sings, I'm just a girl who can't say no. And it just reminded me so much of that. And in my mind, those two movies kind of formed together for a moment. And I was like, is she about to sing that song? No, that's not this movie. This is a different movie.
I mean, it would work. It would fit. In the stage
it's
adaptation.
It's just more of I'm just a girl who can't say can't.
Can't say now.
I can't stand him. Yeah, that was definitely a solid favorite moment.
And yes, no.
No. Yeah, that's another good one.
I think that's the part that gets me laughing every single time. So funny. And the diction coaches are, in their own way, really hilarious as well. Could also be because I've I think this is my first time rewatching this movie since having been through acting programs and experienced diction coaches and just appreciating exactly what that experience is like. Mm-hmm. So I am more sympathetic with Lena, where you think you're making the sound right, and then they just say, no, the vowel is this shape. Mm-hmm. Do it. Can't. And Lena gets it. She says can't eventually, but she just focused too much on it, and she didn't think at all about Stanham.
I can't stand him.
And it's not even a
So
D,
good.
Dan M.
She's such a great character.
She was standing people before everybody knew it.
She's so good. Which actually, yeah, then this brings us into who was everyone's favorite actor or character. Mine is Lena and Gene
Yeah,
Hammond.
mine
I
is
think
too.
she's amazing. Like I don't want to repeat what I said in my video too much, but I think everyone has very specific strengths in this movie, and hers is just that she's the best actor, like specifically for acting in this film, and
Mhm.
everything she does is so insanely watchable. It's amazing.
Well, I figured it'd be harder to act bad than it is to act good. Like, I guess that's the way I put it. Like, to play the role of being someone who is a bad actor, you need to dumb yourself down, sort of, and try to make it sound convincing. That probably is a lot harder than trying to actually play that role of someone who's serious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you think about it, she played a character that tried to destroy people's lives and destroy a studio, yet we still came out of it liking her. So he was able to create that kind of likability for her character while still hating a character we love to hate.
Mhm. Yeah, just like a classic Disney villain,
Yeah.
pretty much. Just like fabulous outfits, fabulous over the top personality, but
Mhm.
still very much in control of the performance. So it's not like too much. Like she's just perfectly in control.
She's an Ursula.
She is an Ursula, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing with older musicals is that a lot of the time the acting usually takes a back seat because musicals from that era were, for the most part, the focus was having a story to justify showing really talented dancers dancing or really talented singers singing. So it was like, just take Fred Astaire, come up with a reason for him being in this room with Ginger Rogers and just like make them dance. And then they do. And it's amazing. And like they cast, what's his face? Donald O'Connor for his humor and for his dance ability so that he could match Gene Kelly. They cast Gene Kelly for his dance. What's her face? Debbie. We love her. She was cast because she like was so young and naive that she didn't have to act because she just like was that.
Because she was Debbie Reynolds, and for
She
no
was
other
19.
reason.
I mean, come on.
And I can't believe that she was 19. It's the stuff that she's doing is incredible. I don't think I've ever met a 19-year-old that talented.
Yeah, for sure.
They think they are, but they're not.
Yeah, Debbie's my favorite character. Like, I love her innocence, but yet she also like stands her ground too, which was really cool to see from a movie in the 50s. Like that's not like that's something that people like. That's a big topic right now of women's rights and whatever. And she was not afraid to be like, well, you're not a real actor because you just met him and he's like a famous person and you just told him off. Like, you go, girl.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. And I'm just like on that same train of thought. I'm just amazed at how well this movie has aged for things like that, like for the characters. I don't even want to say that they're progressive. I just think that they were a lot more fully realized as characters and as people than what we usually saw back then. And I think the movie is edited really smartly because when I was doing the research, I saw that there was a reprise that Dawn sang of "All I Do Is Dream of You" in that scene after Kathy drives off after the cake smash.
Yeah.
And then in the movie, all we have is him running after her yelling, "Kathy, Kathy!" And then it goes to the next scene. And like filmically, that's perfect because it doesn't slow things down. But they shot him singing sadly as he watched the car go away, just being like, "All I do is dream of you."
It's a what it is. It's a great wardrobe change song in a live action. Like that's what it would be put in for. Is Debbie's got to run out back and change into her next outfit or get the pie off of her face, or Lena's got to get the pie off of her face. Let's throw in the reprise there to give her a couple extra minutes. So.
Oh, for sure. And it probably is in the stage show. I don't remember offhand because I did see it.
I have no idea what's happening.
I feel like there's like me and Loren are like, and like kind of like following along, and like we're trying to fill in the blanks. Like, sure, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, scene changes.
Like,
Yeah.
you kind of know, but then you're like, these guys are such theater nerds.
No, Lauren's got way more than.
He's probably got more than I do. He's definitely has more than I do. I'm slowly thinking like going, I should have not even shown up.
No, just smile and nod. Smile
Wait
and
till
nod,
we get
Michael.
to Alien, and I've never seen Alien, and so it's gonna be
Such a good movie.
so it's gonna be me just sitting there like, yep.
So like that's
Oh,
the
it's
part of
scary.
the ride that scared me.
Scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Yep, that movie makes me very uncomfortable.
Oh
I'm not looking forward to Alien Week.
No, me neither.
So I'm just enjoying
I don't
the
know why I signed up for it, but I signed up for it.
I know, just like this thing. Like I can only handle it because I just think to the scene like the parody in Spaceballs.
But that was
I
Star
just
Wars.
want to imagine, I'm like
Wait,
the little
hello,
alien.
hello,
Yes.
Yeah.
He pops out. I'm just like, start singing. Please start singing.
Yeah,
When it
exactly.
comes to old movies, though, like for me growing up, it was always those type of movies like Spaceballs, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Young Frankenstein, like
Monty Python.
Monty
Holy
Python.
Grail.
So that's what my parents watched. So it's like when it comes to musicals and stuff, I didn't watch musicals when I was an adult.
And
Probably with her.
I was gonna say.
Now we're teaching you.
I know, like my favorite thing right now is Shrek the musical. Like that's my favorite.
Okay.
Okay.
Respectable.
Well,
Respectable.
his first introduction to theater was seeing The Lion King on Broadway,
Oh,
like 6 years ago. Was his first like musical introduction ever, and then after that, we saw a local community theater do Spamalot.
That was good too.
So,
That was a lot of fun.
so those are his two theater. I think those are the only shows you've ever seen in a theater.
Yeah.
So
We see Lion King twice. We saw it in New York
that's why we
City.
saw
We
it
saw it
in
in
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah. So
oh, amazing.
come on, Live Theater, come back so that I can educate Mike on everything.
Yes, please bring back theater.
If only so that I can educate Mike.
Like
Bring it back.
I enjoy it. As a kid, I always wanted to be a puppeteer. So anything with puppets, though, always gets my.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
nice.
he is listening to Avenue Q and he loves it.
Good. I was gonna say then, like the Lion King is the perfect gateway show for you, just to start you off.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But yeah, and I was gonna say live theater. Oh yeah, one of the things that also struck me while I was watching this, I kept thinking back to the fact that this is also a stage show, and I think this is one of those things that has no right being a stage show because it's just so uniquely tailored to, first off, being a film, because it's a movie that's about movies, and it's a movie about the ongoing theme of perception versus reality. Not to get too theoretical, but that's a thing that's like more film than it is theater. But beyond that, like it's still the classic movie musical thing where it was built around like 4 specific people and their specific talent. So when you put it on stage, if you have anything less than Gene Kelly and his tap dancing, I don't want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure one of the local high schools to me when I was in high school did Singing in the Rain, and I don't think I saw it, and probably for good reason of exactly that, of like, I feel like a high school version of Singing in the Rain is like the middle school version. It's like doing like any junior version of a show. Like I feel like Singing in the Rain is a go big or don't.
Yeah, I think if you were able to pull together a production that could match the talent that's in the movie, it would be good, but still not like amazing.
Yeah.
And so, hey, I feel like certain things need to stay movies, certain things need to stay stage shows,
Well,
and this movie is perfect.
What I found weird about the movie is that it's a movie about the movies in Hollywood, which was so young at the time that they're already making movies about what it's like to be a movie star in a movie.
Oh yeah,
They've already gone like that. They've already made that full circle to come back to make movies about movie stars, being movie stars in a movie.
I think it was also because since it was the 50s, at that point, enough time had gone by that I think almost one full generation of movie makers had been cycled through. So
Yeah,
it was sort of,
I mean, that makes sense because you're changing the style of movies. You're going from silent movies to movies with voice, and then you're also going to color. So you've got another change there. But it's
like
just
anyone who was living through the 30s, like when this takes place, that was like actually producing this movie, they probably would have been kids or teenagers when that happened. So I think like in my mind, since it is an old movie about an older time, I tend to group the two together, and I forget that the 50s was not the 30s. Like in my brain, everything that's before I was born was just all the same. The 30s, the 40s, the 50s, like all the same. But only when I was doing the video and researching for this did I actually clock into realizing, like, no, like even though it is about the 30s, to them that was still nostalgic. And like having Debbie Reynolds, an 18-year-old, singing those songs seems so natural to me watching it now. But like it would be like having a 20-year-old singing a 70s or an 80s song now. Like they have to get into that.
I guess it'd be relative to us watching a movie about something in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't say that.
Because it's 20 years ago, man.
No, it wasn't. The 90s was last year.
90s was only 10 years ago. Think about this. 1990 was 31 years ago.
So here's a question for that.
I mean,
for that.
I think you traumatized Matt.
For that sort of idea of like thinking back of like, you know, somebody younger doing it, like music and stuff generationally. And I know there's a lot of controversy about this, but I am a huge fan of this movie / musical. Would you consider it to be like now like Mamma Mia, to kind of be like,
oh yeah,
like that same idea of like somebody young singing songs from a generation before ABBA, and you know, what's that face?
I don't know. I'm just thinking about Mamma Mia, and I'm like
thinking about, because Mamma Mia came out in like what, the late 90s, early 2000s, maybe.
It was like,
was it the?
I think it was 2000, 2001.
Mike's gonna look it up. He's got it. Mamma Mia. You're gonna have to look up the musical because the movie's gonna be the first thing to show up.
Because I remember it played in Toronto before it hit New York, and I saw it in like 98 or 99.
Premiered April 6, 1999 at Prince Edward Theatre in London.
My birthday.
Wow.
I was.
So yeah, I mean that spot on works for being 20 years earlier to that being the 70s and that being ABBA, like that. That's it. I've made a good reference. I'm proud of myself.
You did. Did you have you seen my video yet? I make that exact reference.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say.
I watched both of your videos today.
I watched Loren's today, and I watched Mike's. Obviously, I hadn't gotten to Matt's because we had to go.
So we made the same connection independently.
Yeah, that is so awesome.
Across the board.
Low five.
Down like this.
Low five.
Flip your hand over.
Flip your hand over. Flip your
Like
hand
this.
over. Flip your hand over, and then hit my hand.
There you go.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing.
You're getting
Get it
low.
now.
You're gonna get low. Come on.
Okay,
I
so
get
we
it.
were not on the same page.
It was for a second. It was too powerful. It had to go away. But yeah, Singin' in the Rain was my other big discovery in researching this. I like Singin' in the Rain was basically the 1950s Mamma Mia, because I didn't realize that all of those songs were songs that people already knew, because I guess I was ignorant. I thought they were all originals written for the movie instead of like, let's just make a jukebox musical. Because I think the story for this is better than the story for Mamma Mia.
They took all the songs and then wrote the script around the songs. Correct?
I think they wrote like one or two original songs, but otherwise, yeah, they structured the whole movie around the songs that they were told, write a movie around these.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a couple places too where we talked about it, where it comes to like the way the film is clipped, like where certain scenes, like you can tell that something happened. Like, I guess I was reading about this and I didn't think about it when we saw it. Isn't the scene where he's got like the burlesque dancer dancing around him? I guess there's a scene where she wraps his legs around him, and they actually cut that from it because they said it was too provocative. So they actually there's a big jump in time between when that started to when that ended, that it makes a really weird jump in the frame.
Yeah, it's so weird, and it's just so out of place.
Well, I guess Gene was defending it, but like, it's what happens in dancing on stage anyway, so it's not a big deal. But they're like, no, you can't have that, and they made him cut it out because there's a weird jump. But that whole scene was weird anyways. I didn't understand that scene altogether. It was like someone got really high and really like doped up with some drugs. It just went on some weird like off ramp into nowhere land. Like, what is?
Let's talk about that scene. That's the one part I said. Like, I could get rid of that scene, and I think the movie would be perfect.
It's like the second half of E.T. the Ride. You know, like what happened?
If you want to hear more about that, come to our live stream tomorrow.
We're doing a video on that. So you better go next week. I don't know what happened there either, but that was weird. So can I ask you a question, Matt?
Yeah.
If you were to recast this movie today, who would you pick for all 4 of the main character roles?
Oh my!
Oh
God.
my! I love this question.
Lauren, you may also answer.
I'll take Lauren's answer.
Oh my God!
Well.
I don't.
I have no
know.
idea. I haven't really thought about it, but it came to my head when talking about it. Being like taking what's a past movie and remaking it now.
I would cast. Oh no, this is easy. This is very easy. For okay, I don't know which one they would play, but the 2 guys like Don and Cosmo would be Derek Huff and Corbin Blue. I just don't know who would play who yet. I feel like Derek Huff should be Don Lockwood because he's older, but I think Corbin Blue is a better actor.
I don't know who Corbin Blue is.
He's from High School Musical.
Dad from High School Musical.
We watch. I tell you, I don't know names.
Get your head in the game.
I'm a master at IMDb, but I don't remember.
Corbin Blue is Zac Efron's best friend, the one who's like dancing is stupid and I'm a basketball player. Oh well, he's the right age and he's a very talented tap dancer.
Oh, the guy with the curly hair guy. Yeah,
the curly hair.
So he should probably be Cosmo because he is more talented, and Cosmo needs to be a more talented person. Well, I don't want to say more talented; he's more well-rounded because I don't think Derek Huff is
probably when it comes to dancing, not as good as acting.
Yeah, so I think Cosmo needs to be a better personality, and I think that's why Corbin is Cosmo. Derek Huff is Dawn. Kathy Selden would have to ideally be someone who is brand new, just to keep with that tradition. But if I have to pick someone, I'd probably just go the easy route and be like Zendaya.
I literally was going to say Zendaya.
Yeah, Zendaya. Yeah.
And then I want Tiffany Haddish to be Lena.
Oh my God, she would be fantastic. See, I'm so bad at fan casting, but that is brilliant.
That just came to me in the moment. I was like, who has a really distinctive voice and is hilarious, but is also beautiful? And Tiffany Haddish. Or like the easy answer is Anne Hathaway because I think she can do everything, but I just want to see Tiffany Haddish be Lena Lamont. That would be amazing.
I think that she would be great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I need what's her name?
I don't know who you're talking about. Lauren, do you have any
fan casting? I'm so bad at fan casting. I mean, I think Tiffany Haddish is definitely a must, but other than that, I can't even think. I can't even think of actors at all. No names come to my head. So
you, Amanda?
I fail.
Oh no, you're supporting the Tiffany Haddish fan casting campaign. That's the main thing.
I want. Hold on, I got her. I'm so bad with names, just like Mike. Let me pull it up because I know the name, but I'm gonna say the wrong name. Okay, so I want Sarah Silverman to be Lena Lamont.
Oh, that would be amazing too.
Yeah, that'd be hard for me because I can't stand her.
You can't stand it.
Very true. Hugh, absolutely.
Yeah, so basically what we could just do is we could just take the cast of what's it called? Yeah, you missed that.
That's my Hugh Jackman would be my Dawn.
Basically just take the cast of The Greatest Showman and then just cast them in there. But no, I want her to be Lena. I really like the idea of Derek Huff. I like that a lot.
Because Derek Huff puts Moses Supposes apparently into all of his shows. I saw him on TikTok recreating one of the sequence, and then I decided to try to find it on YouTube, and then hundreds of results of just Derek Huff on tour. I didn't even know there was a tour. But
what about him and Mark Ballas?
Who's Mark Ballas?
He was on Dancing with the Stars.
He's a good dancer though.
And him and his wife are a singing duo. So if the two of them did, because Mark's an incredible dancer as well. If he did that, or we could do my original idea, which was comparing this person to Gene Kelly anyway, and we can just put the absolutely incredible can do anything and can do no wrong Lin-Manuel Miranda. Except I don't think he has a strong enough dancing skills for it. But
He would have to be Cosmo.
He would definitely have to be Cosmo. But I can't see him doing the make them laugh sequence. Like, I just can't. What about David Diggs?
I want David Diggs.
Yeah,
Yes.
David Diggs as Cosmo.
Yes.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine a remake of this movie with David Diggs as Cosmo? And like, I'm not gonna do it because I will not be able to. But like, basically, like doing a rap version of Make Them Laugh. Like,
Oh, so good.
I want an R&B version of it. David Diggs, if you're watching this, make it happen.
So
Yes,
Hugh
please.
Jackman is your lead singer.
I'd love to see that.
Dawn.
Yeah.
Cosmo's David Diggs. Lena for me is Yvette Nicole Brown.
Oh yeah, she could do it.
I think she's the funniest person. Like, I literally love her.
She would be great too.
She literally like.
Oh yes.
Because I think she can play that Southside Cleveland kind of attitude, as opposed to like the really bad like New York kind of accent that Lena has now. So you kind of do a play up on the accents and have like just a thick accent. I think she can do it. And then I haven't thought of the other one.
I think you're right, Matt. I think it needs to just be somebody new and young and new to the scene. Because I can't really think of anybody that's like young and new.
It would like
I don't know.
No, oh my gosh, I couldn't handle that.
Like some kind of annoying Disney Channel star who's actually talented, but we don't know it yet.
Right.
That would be like the most famous they could be.
What
Like
about Dove Cameron?
Like Elizabeth Peyton Lee.
I don't love Dove,
Who's
but
the other
like
one?
she is talented.
Who's the other Descendants one? Dove
Oh
Cameron.
yeah, what's her name?
Ooh, this is a good question. So the Eternal Fate.
Who's 11? What's her name?
Oh, Billy.
Oh, she's not. I don't think she can sing.
No.
Okay.
But that brings up the question that Randall here poses: do we pick singers that we can teach to dance, or dancers that we can auto-tune?
Singers that you can teach to dance, 110%.
But for this, I think some of them need to be dancers that can pull off singing, depending on the character.
Yeah.
And I think it depends on their strength. So, like, if they're, an 80 singer and like a 20 dancer, they've at least got some rhythm where you could teach them. Whereas if they're a 20 singer and an 80 dancer, and you're going to ask them to sing, like, I don't know. I think it needs to be a stronger dancer. I mean, a stronger singer.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
I also think it's a lot easier to learn to dance than to learn to sing.
Yeah, because I can't do either.
Well, you can. It just depends on how
just not
good you are.
I'm a soloist.
Like, I can dance. I just don't do it well. That's why no one will ever see it.
I'm a soloist with 2 left feet. Solo, you can't hear it, and left the room.
I would watch that. I would watch that in a second.
I
Well,
told
that's
you.
making me think back. Like, how
cannot
good of
teach me how to
singers
dance.
are the people? Like, is Gene Kelly actually a good singer? Thinking back.
Maybe he had a background track. I don't know.
He is. I mean, I think that he is for the day. He was a good singer. I mean, like, is he the most accomplished singer? No, but at least he could sing.
Is
Like,
he
I
a
think-
singer in the same way that Lin-Manuel Miranda is a good singer? That he's good enough to surround himself with people that are better than him, so it elevates what he does.
Yes, perfectly
Right.
said. Because I
Right.
think all of the main characters have like the priority talent that you need for them. And
Yes.
so I do think for Dawn and for Cosmo, you need to have dancers that have enough musical ability that you can listen to them sing and not hate it. But I would rather watch, like, if I'm watching Singing in the Rain, a remake, I'm watching it for the dance. Just like how when the West Side Story remake comes out, if it ever does this year, like, for me, the main attraction there is going to be the dance for Anita and for Bernardo and everyone. And like, but then for Maria, she hardly dances at all. So like for her, she needs to be a singer, which is how I think they cast it. Oh, what's her face from Hamilton is Anita. So it's going to be amazing no matter what.
Mhm.
I replaced my Lena.
Oh, who?
And I think this will be funny because she can actually sing. They're saying, but her voice is very annoying. Adina Menzel should be Lena.
Ooh.
One, because she can sing. She's a fantastic singer, but she has the most annoying voice when she's not singing.
I also think she sort of fits into that category of like someone who has a solid career, but their star is fading.
It could be her. I mean, like, yes, she's in Frozen, and like that's definitely brought her back, but it hasn't brought her back. It's just brought Elsa. It's just brought Elsa back to life. Like,
like I just think that'd be hilarious because in the end you'll think to yourself, we know she can sing. Like, what's going on here? It would just be a great like way to play around with the whole, theatricals, and she's but her voice is annoying. Like I'm sorry, I can't even listen to an interview with her. She's great actor, great singer, but her voice just does not. She's like
how do you watch Frozen, right?
What?
How do you? Oh, Fran Drescher would be good too. She's too old now though, but
yeah.
But how do you watch Frozen then, Mike?
She's singing. I mean, I can't. It's just so enough that I guess that voice is. I can't. If I watch her talk, I can't do it.
You can't stand her.
I can't stand him.
Okay, note to self: I will not be introducing Mike to Rent anytime soon.
Oh, good idea.
I'm not
that might not be a bad idea anyway.
I love Idina Menzel, but I guess when she's playing Elsa, she's playing a persona, so her voice changes and her pitches change and stuff like that to speak like Elsa. Whereas when she speaks her normal voice, her accent's just too weird for me.
Yeah, and I think her voice is slowly frying.
Yeah, she
over
sings
time.
Too much. Yeah, she's gonna get a cold. She's been singing too much.
In the rain.
In the rain.
She could have used your video.
I know. I mean,
where was that video 20 years ago, Mike?
It's weird though. When I actually searched, can you get a sore throat from singing? It actually is a very common topic, especially with new singers. I was like, I didn't really think about it because I don't sing, but.
Oh yeah, you can fully destroy your voice not singing right.
Nodes.
Yep. Like my first professional acting job was at a theme park in Canada. It was Canada's Wonderland for anyone who knows what that is. And
I've been there.
Yeah, you have. I think you might have been there the year that I actually did this job. And it was before
or 20 sorry, not 2020, 2010. 2010.
Oh, okay, no, it was 2009. They did not bring me back for 2010, so don't go to Wonderland because dreams die there. But I know. So when I started that job, that contract, that was before I'd done acting school. I just liked performing and did it for fun, but didn't know how to use my voice properly. So the first time I actually did a full show day, because I was the understudy, I had to do 5 shows, and it was just 20 minutes of me talking nonstop, doing a bunch of like prop comedy and physical comedy, and my voice by the end of it was completely shot because I wasn't using it right. And then that was when I discovered vocal health is actually a thing. I could have used Mike's video.
So stay out of the rain.
Ironically, I did have to do shows in the rain because it was an outdoor theater. It was not safe. Again, don't go to Wonderland. Anyway, I want to play the game. There's a game.
I'm ready.
Hooray. Okay.
Actually, I don't have anything to write on.
Oh, no.
Oh, Mike has a notepad, but that doesn't help if I have to turn it around.
That's true.
Oh, did it show it to you? Crap.
I trust you to figure it out.
No, hold on. We've got printer paper. Get it, Mike.
I don't have a pen.
Lauren's ready. There we go. So I'm going to explain the game whilst we do this. So just working with the ongoing theme of this movie about actors not having good voices and having them dubbed for the sake of a film, we're going to play a game called No Dub. Dub. So I am going to tell you an actor and a role that they played in a film, and you have to tell me if at any point in the film their singing was dubbed by another performer.
Oh, okay.
Or if they did 100% of their own singing. And just I want to specify that because there are a couple people on this list where it was split up 50-50, where like they did a little bit of their own singing. But if at any point in the film they were dubbed, they count as a dub. All right? So if you think that they did their own singing, then you're going to hold up your paper and you need to write no dub or just no. If you think that they were dubbed, then dub.
Dub. Rub-a-dub-dub.
Got it. I'm ready.
Yes. So
Okay.
easiest thing is just going to be have those two options just pre-written down, then just hold it up as need be. And for the 4 people watching along at home, feel free to play along. It'll be
Okay,
fun.
hold up your cards. We won't see them, but we'll.
Yeah, no, you can write it in the chat, and then we'll pull
I'm
the
just
things
messing.
up. It'll be great. Okay. Here we
Yeah.
go. And I will be keeping track of the points because there will be a double or nothing round at the very end where you can wait. It'll be great. Okay, hold on. Just gonna write your names down. There we go. Okay, so round 1. Dubbed or no dubbed? Eddie Murphy in Dreamgirls.
Oh, that was dumb. You can't sing. Should I play too? Should it be like me and?
No, we have to play together because.
I feel bad. I'm gonna get a bit more.
No, play separately. It's more fun.
Oh no, it's not more fun because then Amanda loses.
Oh no.
Or Mike loses.
Or my friends, because Mike.
I'm gonna go with this.
I'm gonna go with dub. I think that there was a dub, a rub-a-dub, and Mike is writing.
I'm gonna go with dub as well.
Okay, as far as I know, I think I'm right. No dub. He did all his own singing.
Wow.
Ah,
hmm
huzzah!
He doesn't sing a lot. He just has like one song. It's one of those like personality speak singing type deals towards the beginning. So he pulled it off. All right, so we got Loren in the lead. Next, number 2, Rita Moreno in West Side Story. She played Anita.
Oh gosh.
We got a no dub. Got a no dub. And you're all wrong.
She was dubbed?
She did most of her own singing. She sang America, which is like the big song, but her vocal register wasn't low enough for A Boy Like That at the very end. So she was dubbed for Boy Like That. And then if you watch the behind the scenes things, like interviews, she talks about how the actress that was dubbing her didn't understand the character. And so she wasn't performing it vocally the way that she wanted to. So her lips don't match up because she was still like given it the passion she felt that song needed. And so when you watch it, there's a weird disconnect because she's like basically screaming it, but it's sung perfectly, like music wise. So it's very strange.
Wow.
Adriana DeBose will be so much better for that. We'll see. Okay, number 3, Christopher Plummer in Sound of Music.
Oh no, the captain.
No, it hasn't been, no.
No, I'm gonna say he did.
Okay, so Mike and Amanda think he was dubbed. Loren thinks he did his own singing. Yes?
Yes.
He was, in fact, dubbed.
Oh,
Yes.
darn it. So we're now all tied, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
we won.
first
The winner.
Mike.
We got 3 questions. Each one got 1 right.
Ooh, okay. Ties. Next, Russell Crowe and Les Mis.
Oh.
He was not dubbed. That horrible singing was all him.
Yes, because he's such a bad singer. But
Yep.
he did it.
I knew that.
There we go.
That one I
Well,
knew for
baby,
sure.
prisoner 24601. The time is up and your woes be gone.
Oh, hold on.
You know what that means.
Pause in the game here really quick.
Oh, look, he's already in.
Special guest
Live.
from New York.
Oh, hi. How are you?
All right. I
How
love you.
cute.
Mwah. Give Daddy a kiss. Have a good night.
Good night.
Oh,
Bye.
no.
Bang.
Fantastic. I told you he'd eventually make it.
No, end of the.
I was waiting. It happened.
It
Oh,
happened.
and Martha said it best. Russell Crowe should have been dubbed. See, I have
Wow,
no.
there's a lot of
Right.
guest stars.
He's a
I
big
know.
one.
I've got. Hold on. Ugh.
Oh no! Oh, I thought you were gonna put Lucifer out. I was like,
No, Lucifer's not within arm's reach, but R2 always is.
Yeah, he's a massive cat. All right, back to the game.
Okay,
Competitive. Let's
next,
You're losing.
Rami Malek in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Who?
Rami Malek in
Rami
Bohemian
Malek?
Rhapsody. So that's the Freddie Mercury movie from like a year or two ago. And Mike got it right. He was dubbed
Oh,
by
man.
Freddie Mercury's actual voice, as well as like the current like foremost Freddie Mercury impersonator, the guy who tours with Queen as
Looks
Freddie.
like Freddie
Oh, that's
Mercury.
right.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
He literally
That's
looks
right.
like Freddie Mercury. It's creepy. He has the same jaw and the teeth structure. Like,
Oh yeah, I can see it.
he's the same condition.
When I think Freddie, I just think of the mustache. So if there's no mustache, I'm like, this person doesn't look like Freddie.
Well, because
Yeah.
like you know, Freddie Mercury had the big pushed out teeth and the back jaw. That's how he can open his mouth really wide. That's he had a different vocal range.
Really?
Mhm.
That's a condition that he had, and the guy who's the impersonator actually has the same condition.
That's
So he has a
amazing.
very wide vocal range.
We're all learning something. That's fantastic.
I watched the behind the scenes on that one, so
Nice. All right, next up, Renee Zellweger in Chicago.
oh, that's another voice. That she should be Lena.
Oh yeah, she could be Lena.
Mike got it right. She did all her own singing.
Wow,
And that was like one of the
this game.
biggest things with Chicago was that it was sort of out of the ordinary to have a movie musical at all at that point in time, but where all of these A-list stars were doing their own singing, for better or worse. Actually, no, all of them were pretty decent. There were no Russell Crowes, that's for sure. Like, Queen Latifah, so good in that movie.
Well, she can sing, so
Yes.
I mean,
I think that's the thing. They balanced it where they had legitimately really good singers, and then they cast, like it was but yeah, and then you have the people that were just like singing capable, like Richard Gere and Renee. Okay, next, I don't know how to say his name properly, but I'll try. Taron Egerton as Elton John in Rocket Man.
I didn't see it, so I'm gonna.
I turned it off after 5 seconds. Mike is right again.
I think he's an impersonator as well. Like he did a lot of his own singing.
Yeah, he did all his own singing, apparently, which makes me kind of want to watch the movie. One day we'll see. Okay. Oh, one of the most famous ones, Audrey Hepburn in My Fair Lady.
Uh-oh. Wait, what am I doing?
I'm like, wait a minute. I have to think about which way it goes.
Yep, all of you got a point. She was very famously.
That one I definitely knew.
Yep, Marnie Nixon, American Treasure. She sang for all those women who couldn't sing. And Audrey was
Kathy
the
Selden.
saddest. She basically, she was Kathy Selden, except Kathy got the recognition. What's her face?
Right.
Marnie did not until she was like really old. And then they said, by the way, this is the voice that you fell in love with.
And then cut to the end.
Yes. Then it's over. I have a picture with Marnie Nixon somewhere. I should post that. I should find it.
Wow. Yeah.
I know. There was a point in time when I had a very good job that connected me to like famous people at events I shouldn't have been at, and one of them was an event with Marnie Nixon. I just awkwardly went up to her with my like orange cocktail in hand because I wasn't of drinking age yet. I was like, "Are you Marnie Nixon?" Then she said, "Yes." I was like, "Can I get a picture?" She said, "Yes." And we got the picture. It was my brush with fame. And she sounded exactly the same, which is to say, very nondescript and neutral.
Wow.
Yes. Very talented lady to mold the voice the way she did. Okay, now these ones are going to get trickier. Here we go. Jennifer Lopez in Selena.
No, hold on.
I'm gonna.
No. Amanda's the only one who got it right. She was. Duh.
Thing though.
She can, but she was playing Selena.
That's true.
So they had her lip sync to the actual person, which I think is the only acceptable dubbing scenario in this case.
True, yeah.
All right. Now, the final one of the normal round before we go to the double or nothing round. Christian Bale in Newsies. And you all get a point. He did his own awkward singing.
Yeah,
Another awkward person.
there was just enough awkwardness, you know.
You ever watched The Machinist? That was a really creepy movie.
Ooh, I've
lost
seen
so
the
much
pictures, and that's enough to make me want to not watch it just because I'm sure the performance is amazing, but I would just be too out of the movie watching it fearing for his health.
Oh, he lost so much weight, and it was so bad for him. It was awful.
like, no.
Mackenzie,
Great Batman, though.
we didn't say that he could sing. He did sing.
I am Batman, not I am singer.
And again, it goes back to this constant through line of just passable. I think Russell Crowe kind of set the bar for what's not acceptable. Anything better than Crowe is,
But guess what? He went out and did it. He spent a lot of money on it, too.
He did. That was a thing that happened.
Gladiator is his best movie. Ooh, Beautiful Mind is a good one, too.
Oh, actually, yeah. I haven't seen either of those, actually. When the 12 weeks are over, I'll...
Gladiator is like top 5 for Mike's favorite movies. If it's on, and I'm watching it.
Are you not entertained? That's all I know.
I'm entertained.
I'm ready for Double or Nothing. Let's go.
Okay, double or nothing. So for this, I'm going to tell you how many points you all have. Loren, you have 4. Amanda has 4. Mike has 1, 2, 3. 4. Mike has 7. How many points would you like to wager?
Oh, I don't want to wager.
Oh, this is like Jeopardy. If I'm at 4, Amanda is all in because Amanda's going to lose anyway, so I might as well go big or go home.
Is this just
one Loren is at 4 too.
This is like Final Jeopardy.
Yep. Mike.
I'm gonna wager 2.
Okay, so if Mike gets it wrong.
And if everyone gets it wrong, I still win.
That's true. Okay, this is good. This is anyone's game. Here we go. All right, so the final double or nothing. Debbie Reynolds and Singing in the Rain.
What a nice... I'm not looking at Mike's.
She was dubbed.
She was dubbed in the final scene.
Where she was dubbing somebody else?
Yes, that was sung by someone else.
Hold on.
John, Mike?
Wow.
That's so
Did you come across that in your research?
Yeah. I was like, what? I was like, that isn't the final scene.
But
that was not even her voice. That was the
but what would be funny is if it was actually Lena's voice.
It was. Well, okay, no, it's not. I'm pretty sure it's Debbie singing in the rain and like the climax, but when she's singing "Would You," like if I met a mama, would you?
Yeah.
That is another woman singing for Debbie Reynolds. But then when Kathy is dubbing Lena's spoken lines, the voice for Kathy dubbing Lena is actually Gene Hagen's voice. So like the deeper, more resonant voice that's supposed to be Kathy dubbing the spoken lines, that's Gene Hagen's actual, not Lena Lamont voice.
What?
So Gene Hagen is dubbing Debbie Reynolds, dubbing Gene Hagen.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
I know. It's so like.
So Matt, since you didn't get to play this game, actually no, tell us who won.
I won.
Well, Mike won.
I got 2 points. I get 9.
Yeah, by 1 point.
Only at 8.
Okay, so Matt, since you didn't get to play, I have one for you.
Okay.
Why do math?
Okay. My boy Zac Efron in High School Musical, dub or no dub?
Oh, he was dubbed by Drew Seeley.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the one scene towards the end when he like breaks onto Vanessa Hudgens' balcony or whatever, and then sings a cappella, and it's really unsupported and not great.
And it's absolutely horrendous, and it doesn't sound like him in the rest of the movie.
When he goes from a tenor to a baritone.
Correct.
Yes.
But he did his own voice for Greatest Showman, correct? He didn't.
After that, it was all pure Efron because everyone knew that he was dubbed and they wanted to hear him actually sing.
Right. Yeah. I think that I heard that he was upset about being dubbed in the first movie.
Yeah, and I think it's just because Drew Seeley has more of a pop voice, like a marketable pop voice, and that was at a point when Zach was just pure, like, not super famous anything. He was just a standard kid actor, and they just wanted to make the best movie possible. So they were just of the mentality, we need to sell a soundtrack probably for this little Disney Channel movie. Yeah, let's just get the sound we want. But then the movie exploded, and then they were like, oh, now Zach is his own brand. So part of that is just have him sing. And apparently he's also a document. Oh, right, I forgot about that.
Oh, I did not. I did not forget about that.
I've not watched this
The
documentary.
dude he was with was one of the weirdest dudes I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, he was a funny guy, but he was such a weird environmentally.
Darren.
His spirituality was very spirituality. I would recommend watching it. I enjoyed it because I enjoyed that kind of stuff anyways. But...
You know what else I would recommend watching?
What?
Singing in the Rain.
Yes.
Look at me segueing back into it, guys.
What a way to bring it back.
Full circle again.
Yeah, well, oh, Martha said, oh, she sent me the picture of me with Marnie Nixon. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
I was really excited thinking that she was saying that she sent me the picture because I couldn't see the whole chat on the side here because of my drink. I thought it was her sending me the picture.
Oh, look at you. Look at Barney.
Look at Barney.
Look at little baby Matt.
No.
David Matt.
The
gel in his hair.
Very 2000s Matt.
You can see the gel? Actually, yeah, that was that era.
Yeah.
Good times.
I was that era too, man.
Yep.
You're not, I think you're younger than me, but not by much.
Tom Holland doing Singing.
By enough. We weren't in high school at the same time, so I'm much younger than you.
Is the Tops? Can he have what's her name from Star Wars? Rey. They're in a movie together right now, so I can't.
They are?
Yeah. Maybe it's a show. But
with Daisy Ridley.
With Daisy Ridley, it's her and Tom Holland. And I saw a preview, and she's a blonde. I'm like, that's Daisy Ridley.
Mike, I'll show you the video. It's not a it's not one that we should be discussing on a family friendly channel here. I will show it to you.
Oh yes, classic 90s 2000s shiny hair. Actually, I think it was probably Dippity Doo, which is still my go-to brand. Oh, Nick Jonas in that too. Look at that. All right, getting off topic. Any closing thoughts on Singing in the Rain before we move on to less impressive movies for the next 10 weeks?
Closing thoughts on Singing in the Rain.
The movie's called Chaos Walking, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah, you give your final thoughts.
Final thoughts?
Yes.
Yes.
I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I anticipated enjoying it.
Nice, and you didn't turn it off after half an hour, so improvement on Footlight Parade.
Yeah, it wasn't like we we're both like, what's going on? Like this movie just keeps changing scenes but not carrying the story along. It just keeps jumping back and forth. Like, and they're just turning around and trying to film different places. It was like the same. I don't know. But no, I enjoyed the movie a lot. It's weird that I haven't seen movies like this, and it's just the way I grew up. My parents weren't huge movie buffs, except for a few, Mel Brooks movies, and Monty Python. So, but the comedy is the same kind of style of comedy, so I really enjoyed some of it, especially Cosmo. He made me laugh a lot, and if I was to be cast in this movie, that's what I want to be. Just because of his wittiness. He's like that good sidekick friend that always wants to keep you motivated. So
he's a LeFou.
Yeah.
Nah, he's much better than LeFou though. I feel like he's not a butt kisser like LeFou is. LeFou is just giant butt kisser. Whereas
yeah, that's true.
Cosmo's kind of like on the same page. He knows he's one step back when it comes to the fame, but he's definitely always encouraging him to be better and to pushing him along, which is what everyone wants in a friend. And that's why I think Cosmo for me is the best character. And I really enjoyed his character in the movie.
Cosmo's a better friend than Don Lockwood deserves.
That is correct.
So true, though. So true.
I quite enjoyed getting to rewatch Singing in the Rain and be a part of this live stream. And I'm excited for the next 10.
I'm excited for Mary Poppins.
I will say that of the movies with music in them that I know of, because there's some in this sequence that I have not seen, so maybe there's a big musical number in Alien. I don't know. I've never seen it.
I don't think Sigourney Weaver's singing anything.
We'll see.
Because she was dubbed. I think out of the movies that I know have music in them and have big musical numbers, this is my least favorite, but it doesn't mean that I don't like it because I absolutely love it. But I am very much more excited musically wise to dig into next week's video.
Yeah, Poppins.
Oh yeah.
Do you consider Mary Poppins a musical?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
But I have seen a musical as a kid because that's the only one I could think of. Like we watched it all the time as a kid because we were big Disney fans, and my mom always had all the VHS tapes. So
100%. Mary
Mary
Poppins
Poppins
not only is a musical as itself, but it became a musical on Broadway.
I also saw Night Before Christmas, which is also a musical.
Not in this thread.
Not in the same way.
Yeah.
Now, Mary Poppins is. I still haven't decided what my video is going to be about because there's so many things it could be about. But I don't think I'm going to go down this route, so I'll just say it now. That what I love about Poppins is it's a beautiful time capsule of Julie Andrews' theatrical abilities at that point in time.
Yes.
Like I think you could just get a full. It's like a front row seat to what it probably would have been like watching her in Camelot or My Fair Lady, just at that time being just in full control of everything that's happening. She's just so inherently watchable. And her physicality in Poppins, I started rewatching it today, is just like there's such a beautiful structure to it that I had never really picked up on before. Like just everything she does is like she leads with this beautiful like straight leg, pointed foot the entire time, and like that's just how she moves herself through the entire movie, which is amazing. Just I love Julie Andrews. But I can't do a whole video about how much I love
practically perfect. So yeah,
every way.
love Singing in the Rain, but also very much looking forward to other things as well, and maybe having a new favorite movie
Indiana Jones.
the way.
Who's never seen Indiana Jones?
Oh,
It's going to be great.
Yeah, Indiana
we can talk about it that week. Loren.
yes, true.
What?
Closing thoughts.
Oh, my closing thoughts are that I really, it rekindled, watching it again, it rekindled my love for this movie. I haven't watched it since Debbie Reynolds died. And I have this weird memory thing where I kind of forget what happens in something. So I'm like, what's this movie about again? I forgot. And, of course, I kind of knew the heartbeats of it. But once I got into it, of course, I remembered everything. And this is a beautiful musical. I mean, I am also very excited to talk about all the other movies. Mary Poppins, obviously, Wizard of Oz. That's one of my favorite.
Can't wait.
And strangely enough, Public Enemy. Can't wait to discuss that one.
I remember not loving it the last time I did a great movie marathon on my own, so I'm excited to revisit it and hopefully I'll understand it more this time.
Yeah. I don't know why I have this thing for James Cagney.
It was so strange seeing James Cagney as a song and dance man in Footlight Parade.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, Mary's here.
Oh. Hi, Mary.
Yes. All right. And I don't know if I can say anything about Rain that I haven't said. I love it. It's a classic movie that just merits multiple rewatches. So anytime there's an excuse to rewatch it, I will jump at it. But yeah, I'm so excited for future live streams and future great movies. And thank you so much, friends, for being here with us, those on screen and those watching. And hopefully we'll see everyone again next week for Mary Poppins.
Absolutely.
Yay!
Hey! All right, everyone. Let's do our sign-offs. Say your goodbyes as though you are closing a video on your channel. Loren, you first.
All right. Well, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, hit the bell for notifications and do like this post. You can always reach us on Twitter at CCC Disney Uni and on Instagram at Castles, Capes, and Clones. And I'll just leave it at that.
Awesome. Yes, everyone, make sure that if you're not subscribed already, go subscribe to Castles, Capes, and Clones and friends down below. Tell us about you. Say your sign-off.
Yep. So we're the Hyde to Disney. We don't know what we're doing ever. So you might see stuff about not singing in the rain because you could get sick. You might see stuff about parks. You might see unboxings, but not for long. Spoiler alerts. But with that, make sure that you're liking this video because Matt's the best.
Yes.
And I know you guys are already subscribed to him, but make sure that you go and support him on all of his Yip Truck stuff too. So It's been great. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Huzzah! And yes, and my name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees. And oh, before I say it, make sure you tune into Amanda's channel tomorrow because we're going to do a stream where we discuss Universal Studios versus Disney World, which will be tons of fun. So keep an eye out for that. And join us here next week for our next live stream on the Great Movie Marathon, where we will be talking all things Poppins. And until then, my name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and that's the Teacup for One. Go away.
Bye, guys.
Meow.